Yeah.
Moondog, did you see that that Monstrum came out with another Panzer?
Oh, this one's no. What's different about this one?
It's a 1-6.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, yeah. I heard about that. They're coming out with that. So that one, yes, I'd heard that they were coming out the 1-6. I saw it over at Shot Show, but I didn't know when they were actually going to release it.
Yeah, yeah. So I got an email today about that, and they
Mm-hmm.
gave me a 35% off coupon.
Oh,
And
good.
so it's hard.
Well, darn it, I better release my Shot Show video then if they've already released it.
Bubba, stop it! I already got the 1-10. I don't need the 1-6 now.
Well, I was going to buy the 1-10, and they say 35% off. I was like, I don't want it.
Right? I already got the 1-10. Now what do I do?
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all.
Oh man, that's awesome. So Moondog, as
Yes,
I
sir.
was saying to myself a while ago, welcome to the panel.
Well, thank you.
And we had literally just went around the panel and asking everybody, did you get a chance to make somebody's week better? Did anybody make your week better this week?
Oh yes, we just got back from visiting my mom. My mom down in Los Angeles. That's where I grew up, and she's doing a lot. She's doing a lot better. So we went to go see her because she's having health issues. Just had a minor stroke, but thank God she's doing a lot better. So she was happy to see all of us.
That is great, man. Oh, I bet you did make her day better.
Yeah, for sure.
There ain't nothing better for a mama or a daddy or grandma or grandpa to see youngins come in and visit. That's for sure. Oh man, so glad that you got to do that. That is awesome, and also prayers for her that she keeps getting better, buddy. And also, when's the end of your giveaway?
Oh yeah, that's still going on until the end of this month, or practically the end of this month, the 28th. And I'm going to be doing the drawing after that. So everybody should try to get in on it. Let's see.
I got it in the scrolling banner down below.
Oh, good. So this is what I'm giving away. It's the Discovery
Is that
Optics
baseball bat?
Yeah, practically. This is the biggest scope I've ever reviewed. This thing is a monster. It's like even without the sunshade, it's 19 inches long. So 16 inches long with the sunshade. It's 19 inches long. So this thing is just a beast. But it's the sharpest scope that I've reviewed for, and yeah, it performs quite well. So they're going to give one away. They're letting me pick who gets it, and you can find all the information. Well, you see there the contest link, and everybody's welcome to enter. It's absolutely free.
All right. So as it's scrolling across the banner down at the bottom, guys, you get a chance. Go over to Moondog's deal here. So it's
moondogindustries.com/contest.
/contest. And I went over and entered. He's got directions on there that even a hillbilly can figure out. So you ain't got any excuse not to get entered. So we just had Travis T jump in, hey buddy. So everybody want to congratulate Travis T for winning tonight, or should we wait till we spin the wheel first? It's always a joke over on Gizzard Show. Travis T has the most wins on Pal Territory. So
yeah, he's kind of on a dry spell though.
Yeah, he has been.
Yeah, he is.
He'll be coming back with a vengeance pretty soon.
Oh yeah. Well, so guys, make sure you go over there and enter to win that awesome baseball bat /scope. And check out Moondog's video on it because I watch it. I mean, that dude is clear. It's got some nice glass. I mean, I really like it. And if I don't win this, I definitely foresee one in my future.
Oh, they're really affordable. They're like that made me a little dubious. Is the scope that cheap that performed that whether or not it performed in my testing of it lived up to their claims for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, after the Panzer versus the Vortex, I mean, it's just
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's just like, yeah, man, yeah, we're gonna go with the cheapo here.
Yeah.
Well, when it was 6 dozen, half a dozen to the other, it was like, and I was like, yeah, I'll go with this one. And you know what, Moondog?
Yes,
I
sir.
am very happy with that scope. That thing is not disappointing.
That's good. You know, I'd
love
heard
it so far.
I heard some folks there were some quality control issues with the stuff when they first came out, like the first batch in December. So I heard
Yep.
about a bunch of people complaining about that. But since then, they've been rock solid. So you know, and they've been good about taking returns and exchanges, as far as I've heard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So have I, because I've seen a couple other reviews and everything's been pretty copacetic
That's
after
good.
that. So
What do you have it on, Pat?
I've got it on a 5.56 super lightweight rifle. I'm running a airweight key lock on there, just super skeletonized. Just that's all that's sitting on top of it, and it's just super lightweight, and I love it. Put it up on 2 power, turn the reticle on, red dot
Yeah.
on it, and it's perfect. So I'm digging it so far. So thank you, Moondog, for doing that review.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah, definitely. And guys, also you get in the drawing tonight with hashtag HBN71. That's Hillbilly Nation 71. And oh man, before we go any farther, I've just got to play this. I mean, sometimes, this show is all about fun and happy, and we try to have a good time, make somebody's day better. But sometimes things in life just take a little twist. And so I did a little short video. Here we go.
Howdy, Hillbilly Nation. This is American Hillbilly. And you might wonder why I'm wearing all black. It's a sad day. Yeah, very sad day. We have to say goodbye to one of our friends. Something has been with us for a while. Got here on Guns Bearing Therapy. It's brought a lot of joy into our lives. It's caused us all to come together and join a club. On this day, I'm afraid we're going to have to say goodbye to the skinny black knife. For old time's sakes, buddy, I hate to see you go. You're such a good skinny black knife. And because of you, there are 76 members of the Hillbilly Nation that is in the Skinny Black Knife Club. Hello, buddy. You've made their day better. You've done such a wonderful job. But it is time to say goodbye. We might see you again in special giveaways or something like that. It is time for us to move on. So, buddy, we love you. And you're still in our hearts. Say goodbye to the Skinny Black Knife.
Wow, you landed it right on with that that logo.
Sorry.
Oh, so sad.
I thought you
Little
were going to
chaos there.
presents. I'm not just gonna have a video of Hasbro shooting by Mr. Bill or Wayne shooting Little Wayne. What?
So, sadly, tonight will be the last night that we'll be giving away the skinny black knife on just a regular basis on Guns Baron Therapy. Like I said, it might make a return for a special giveaway or something. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I couldn't pass it up. It was so windy out there today. Even with the noise filters on, the dead cat, everything, it was still getting terrible wind noise. And I even tried to correct it in the editing, and it was terrible wind noise. And so, also for some of you people that do not shoot content, when we say, well, the weather is just not as loud to get outside and shoot some, well, that is why, because there's some days that it just ain't happening on days like today. Beautiful day out, but the wind was terrible. So anyway, oh my goodness. So so, yeah. Skinny Black Knife has been a good friend to Hillbilly Nation. It sure has.
Gonna be fun to see who gets the last one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who's it gonna be?
Oh yeah. So you want to make sure you get in the giveaway for tonight. Now, next week, we'll be having something new to give away. So anyway, don't worry. Yeah. And I actually thought I would be ending that Skinny Black Knife before now. But everybody's like, wait, you can't do that. I don't have one yet.
I don't have one
yet. So anyway, yeah, we will for sure miss the Skinny Black Knife. But we got something else coming. So anyway, I figured we would hit a few topics here tonight while everybody's getting their entries into the giveaway. And so let's start out with a gun topic, and then we'll move on to something else. And I know we kind of touched on this some on this channel, a little bit here and there, but like Walter's video today, when he talking about it, you got a pistol that matches lever action, the same caliper or whatever. And so I was like, man, that's something that I really, really like, or I think about anyhow. So we'll go around the panel here and ask everybody on the panel and also everybody on the side chat, do you like or suggest having multiple firearms in the same caliber? And I'm not talking like, oh, well, you got to have them all in this caliber, but there's like 3 or 4 kind of calipers out there that you can get in a rifle form or a pistol form, or maybe if you're really into pistols and like you're like, I like this caliber and I have several pistols in this caliber, same way with rifles. So anyway, we won't limit that by any way. So Bubba, what do you got to say about this, buddy?
In all honesty, as I got plastic drooping from my daggone thing, there we go. All right. In all honesty, I think for like 9mm especially, right? 9mm in any pistol to rifle caliber cartridge, right? I think it's a good idea to have at least one rifle caliber in that round and one pistol caliber in that round. Like have a 9mm and a pistol, 9mm and a rifle to see which one that you adapt to better. Get used to the differences in recoil, get used to the differences in sight picture and stuff like that. Just getting used to it in general. And and that's also another easy way to adapt somebody else to that caliber. Like they get used to shooting the rifles. Like, all right, now shoot the pistol. I think it's another easy way of weaning somebody into something. A new caliber round or whatever. And also, I mean, if you're a reloader, and Jamie will probably test this, it's easy to reload just one caliber for multiple guns than it is to just reload multiple calibers at once. Because then you got to go back and switch out your turret head, switch out everything. But yeah, no, I absolutely approve of it. I mean, I wouldn't get multiple 16-inch barrel 223s or anything like that. But yeah, no, I think it's a good idea.
Awesome. So, Jamie, what do you got to say about it, buddy?
I think you need to get what you want. I think too many times we buy firearms that based on price and this, that, and the other, not on really what we want or what we need it to, how we need it to function. And, what you buy is your business, but yeah, it's handy to have. Like, I have several 357 Magnum revolvers, and I have right there. I have a Rossi 92 and 357 Magnum. That's an awful nice thing to have. If you got handguns and long guns in the same pistol caliber. I don't have a 9mm rifle, but I wouldn't mind having one of those Ruger pistol caliber carbines. I don't think I would like an AR-15 style uh, pistol caliber carbine. That's just not really me. That's just my taste. But I think, and Bubba's right about the reloading. You can just reload a ton of 357 Magnums and you're set for a while. But when it comes to reloading semi-auto pistol stuff, you've got to make sure that your seating depth and all that stuff is right for your tightest chamber, because you just can't throw a round that'll fit and shoot in a Glock or a Taurus and a CZ. The chambers are going to be different. So what I do is I just load to my tightest chamber for 9mm and then use it in all of them. But yeah, there's good stuff, man. But I think we need to focus on what we're going to be using a gun for and what's the best that we can afford. I think we settle too much and we wind up with a bunch of stuff that's not going to increase in value and it's not going to be an investment for the long term. But whereas if you buy just a little bit better, you'll see an initial depreciation, and then as time goes on, you'll see an increase in the value of your firearms.
That's a good point. I will tell my wife that. I'm going to play this back for her a little bit later. So I appreciate that.
Justify that investment.
Jamie said.
That's right.
Well, yeah, great point there, Jamie. No doubt about that. And so we'll jump on over to you, Walter. What do you think about this?
Oh, I'm a fan. I like my Henry lever guns, and I've got a single action revolver / Henry rifle combination in 22 long rifle, 38 357, 44 mag, 44 Winchester center fire, 45 Colt.
and then I got a couple of other Henrys also. But I just kind of enjoy pulling those things out and go to the range with that nice Henry Big Boy and a matching revolver and shoot the same ammo. And there's a little bit you got to pay attention to with loading for a lever gun and a revolver. You can't do a whole lot of round nose and pointy nose stuff, but it and I'm just a recreational shooter. I don't need any of that stuff. I got that stuff because I like shooting them. And, I like pistol calibers more than I like rifle calibers, and lever gun / single action revolver is kind of a good way to go. And some of them are a little different. That 4440 cartridge a little different to reload, and about every ninth case you're going to squash, and all kinds of stuff happens with cast bullets for those. But that's a fun thing for me to do. Um, as far as the semi-auto stuff, I'm right with Jamie. It's a different ball game there. If you're going to shoot a long gun semi-auto with the same round that you would shoot a handgun with, and I have a couple of those scenarios, and so it's exactly as Jamie said. You load for your tightest chamber, and that way it's going to fit and everything else. May not be the best fit. Just because it goes in there doesn't mean it's a good fit. So you do what you can with it, and you can load up 1,000 9mm rounds with your cast bullets and go to town. I have that Ruger PC, carbine and 9mm, and it's a fun one to go shoot, the Ruger. So yeah, I'm there. I think it's fun for me to do. It's not necessary, I don't think, for anybody. Maybe if you're out hunting and you want to carry a 44 mag rifle and a 44 handgun, as protection or something if you're in Alaska or bear country or something like that. But for me, it's just fun. That's it. End of story.
Awesome. I'll say hi to Gunpowder Beauty. Thanks for jumping on. Appreciate you. And that's good stuff. Yeah, maybe you need to work out something with Mark Thomas and get you a belt where you can hold like 3 different 357s, and then a nice rifle sling over the back, when you're walking up to
Mark
the range.
Already made me a holster some time ago for the one of the 4440 revolvers that I've got. When I first got that,
nice.
He said, "Hey, I'd like to make you a holster," and he did. Boy, made me a nice one too.
Oh, I bet. There's no doubt it's nice. Yep, man. Well, good stuff, buddy. So how about you, Garage Guy? What do you think about that?
Well, if I want a long gun / handgun combo, I'd have to go with 357 Magnum, 38 Special, and rimfire. It'd have to be 22 Magnum. You get these Henrys or Rossies, 357 carbine. You can get a Taurus or Smith or Ruger revolver to go along with it. That's the most common caliber around here. As far as centerfire rounds, could go to 44 Magnum, 44 Special, but honestly, you don't see that round here in my area near as much as you do 357. Plus, if you're using it for hunting purposes, the critters around here can pretty well be taken by 357 Magnum. So,
bet. Yeah.
Yeah. And, of course, 357 Magnum, you can do the 38 Special plus P, and that can be pretty effective as well. Smaller critters, 22 Magnum, you get a Henry lever gun, 22 Magnum, and a revolver chambered in that, like a Taurus or Smith. It's good stuff, So I really don't have to get all fancy about it or anything. It's just 2 good common calibers right there, long gun, matching handgun, good to go.
Yeah. Good stuff, buddy. Well, let's jump on over to Mark Thomas.
Well, I'm going to agree with everybody else. It's a great idea. Having a lever gun matched up with your revolver. But honestly, I don't have any. I've got plenty of revolvers. I love my 22 mag, 41 mag, 357, 44, 45. And not to say that I won't ever. I would love to pick up the lever action to match either of those, but it's not a priority. It would be nice, but my levers are more, kind of not rare or unique, but 32 special and 35 Remington, 300 Savage. Those are my revolver or my lever guns, and it's going to be kind of tough to match that up with a revolver. But it's not something I won't say it will never happen. I'll certainly pick something up if it's the right time and I have the right money in my pocket. Great idea, but not a necessity at this point in time.
All right. Good stuff. Well, we'll jump on over to you, DJ. What do you got to say about this, brother?
By the time you get to the middle and certainly down there towards the end, they're like, we run out of the good points to be made. So I think this is a function of affordability because if you are focusing in for some reason, whatever it might be, on matching up calibers with something like that, you quite literally are not spending money on other calibers and other things. Now, that doesn't mean I'm trying to suggest that it's just like one caliber, to rule them all sort of thing, but I like to get in at 22. It's less expensive. It's less expensive to feed. If you become interested, as I did, in amateur gunsmithing, you can pick up reasonably priced examples and pick up, part of the trade or the hobby that some of us enjoy so much. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm going to stick and stay. And I got the lever 22, bolt, magazine, tube magazine, revolver, semi. I got them all covered, so I'm good to go.
Cool.
Awesome.
Good points.
Yeah, real good stuff.
Very good points.
All right. Well, we'll jump right on over to you, Pat.
Well, I don't know how much more I can cover than what everybody's been covered, but I've got revolvers and bolt actions. I've got lever actions and 22 mag, 9mm. About the only one that I've got that I'm really missing right now, that if I was to disappear into the woods and just go live out there, kind of off the grid kind of situation, I really want a 357 Magnum lever gun to go with my 357 Smith & Wesson 681. I got the whole leather holster and everything that just goes right on my hip, and just be able to feed both at the same time. And you can go 38, 357, just like everybody's brought up. Now, if I was to put, kind of take the money and put it towards something a little bit beefier, yeah, definitely 44 mag. Going out there, especially in bear country and stuff like that, yeah. 44 revolver and a 44 lever. I mean, is it really going to let you down in those kind of situations versus a semi-auto versus, I've got 9mm in the semi-auto and everything, everything feeding that 22 mag, 9mm. And the only one I'm wanting is 357 for the lever gun. But, for my, if I was going to put some serious money down, yeah, definitely 44 mag for sure. A revolver and a lever gun, and put some plus P stuff through that just so it just knocks the snot out of things. I mean, I want to put 1 or 2 bullets into that thing and it's going to come to a dead stop. That's what I want, especially if I'm up in big country like Alaska.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, that would be my finishing on that.
Awesome. Good stuff, buddy. So we'll drop right on down to you, Moondog.
Sure. I have 9 millimeter pistols and a 9 millimeter Keltec sub 2000. So that's a pistol caliber carbine. And I got that specifically just because I was going to be running. I knew I was going to be running mostly 9 millimeter in my pistols. And of course, practically all of us have a 22 somewhere. And I have 22 pistols as well as a lot of 22 rifles, and I use that primarily over at the range because at the rifle club we do 22 competitions of both pistol and rifle, bullseye, and action shooting with the 22s for noise considerations because it's adjoining a park, the training center. But when I first moved back to California, I did have sort of a prep mindset because of the crazy laws that they have here, and I never knew what law they were going to pass about restricting ammo. And they did by the time when I got here, they already had been talking about restricting mail order purchases of ammo and they did pass a law which hopefully it's already been struck down in circuit court to get rid of that anti mail order ammo law. But my philosophy was always, buy them cheap and stack them deep because I never knew when I couldn't buy the ammo that I needed. And I wanted to just simplify it. So I think I really tried to hone down to just 9 and 5.56 and a little bit of 38 special and a little bit of 308. But mostly it's just, I wanted to just simplify, my armory purchases. And when I saw a sale, either at Wally World or somewhere on 9, I would just buy it when it was cheap. And I picked the guns that ran that ammo because then I knew that I wouldn't have to hunt around for any specialty ammo. So that's another consideration you have. I know, hopefully, God willing, there won't ever be in a true SHTF situation. But I also was thinking, like, at some point, if you had to barter Mad Max style for ammo, you probably get a better deal on ammo that everybody else wants as well. So that was my thought.
Yeah, good stuff and good points, buddy. I mean, no, most definitely, really good things to think about. And also, real quick, we have a sighting out there. So, Walter, are you ready?
I'm ready. On 3, 2, 1. Hey!
Mario.
What's up, Mario?
Hey, Mario.
Howdy, Mario. Man after my own heart. He's got Mosen in his last name right there on his hand.
Yeah. Well, Gary, it looks like they run you to the couch to your cell phone, huh, buddy? Got it?
Yeah, I kind of gave up.
Well, I'm glad you're still on here, though, buddy. That's the most important thing. So.
Last but not least, I told you I'd come back.
Yeah.
Can't get rid of me that easy.
So, what's your thoughts on having guns with multiple calibers? And it don't have to necessarily just be one, caliber or one, whatever. But what do you think about that?
Well, I missed part of the discussion getting set up and everything in here, but I'm pretty sure everything's been covered since I'm the last one to respond here. But it's a good idea. I mean, and I've got it in a couple of calibers. Much like Moondog, I have several 9mm pistols, and I have a 9mm pistol caliber carbine. Mine's a High Point. But on the other hand, I also have a 22. I have a Marlin 60 as far as a rifle goes, and 22 long rifle, and I have several 22 LR pistols. Now, in a survival situation, I can tell you I have many more rounds of 22 LR than I have anything else. And it's pretty easy to carry, pretty portable. And so if I had to go a long time and not be able to restock on ammo, I'd be hard pressed not to go that way. But you have considerations either way with only having to have one type of ammo around in your bag or whatever you're carrying with you at the time. So that and cost. I mean, obviously, but it's a good thing. I definitely think it's a good thing. I'm definitely in favor of doing that.
Yeah, a lot of great stuff here and on the side chat. The There's kind of one thing that I think about. Not only not have to make sure I have in stock several different calibers for different pistols or rifles, which I try to, but for me, I have, let's see, 2 or 3 calibers at least. Yeah, at least 3 that I have pistols and rifles for. And so a deal like that, if it was something to where I needed to grab a bunch of ammo and a few guns, I know probably what I would grab because I knew I could use them in the was a pistol form or a rifle form. And so that's kind of my deal about it. And also everybody had great points. When reloading or whatever the case might be, getting able, finding something on sale and really getting the stock up on a certain, caliber. And so a lot of great stuff out there, you guys. Thank you, guys and girls. Appreciate that. And make sure you get your hashtag in HBN71. It is the last drawing for the skinny black knife, at least for a while. We might bring it back on a special giveaway or something, but it is the last regular drawing on Guns Bearing Therapy for the skinny black knife. So make sure you get your hashtag out there and join the Skinny Black Knife Club. And I thought we might do another little topic here while we're waiting to get ready for the giveaway to take up some time till then. And I thought, well, this is something that's coming up that everybody knows about and probably everybody has something to say about. And so I thought this would be, the dog even has something to say about this topic. So I knew it'd be a popular topic. So what do you think about the clips coming up? See, are you off or concerned? That don't make any sense. Oh man. I think what I meant to put in there, are you okay about it or are you concerned? I have no idea how I ended up putting off in there. But anyway, I just thought it's something that's coming up. Some people have some serious thoughts about it, about, well, we've heard this, and this, but more than likely they're probably not going to happen. But do we go ahead and maybe be prepared? And a lot of that I think might be like where you live at. Could be a difference in situation of some of the stuff. I mean, more than likely it's just going to get dark and get light again. And some people's really far away from the path, but some of us are like right under the path or really close. And so I thought, well, it'd be a fun little topic tonight because I figured everybody would have an opinion or something to say about this. And
I got one. Can I come in first?
Yeah, you betcha.
All right. So I've been lucky enough in my adult life to have been in totality. That means in the exact, sort of near the exact center path of an eclipse twice in the last 7 years, because I went up to Oregon to see the eclipse back in 2017, and I was over at the annular eclipse, which happened last October. So I went out to Nevada to see that. And I can say it, if you haven't been in the totality part, it's worth traveling the extra 100 miles wherever you're at, because this path is going to be running through, well, it actually starts in Mexico, but it goes through Texas and most of the center and eastern part of the US, and even out into Canada, like not too far from Toronto, but not quite over Toronto. But it makes a big difference if you're in the totality and just a little bit out of it, because what I found when I was in the middle of it, up until it really got to over 90% coverage, it didn't seem like it got that dark. But once it got past 90%, it started to get like almost like it got to like dusk color. And then for, a good about 40 seconds, it was like, right after the sunset, it was that dark. So it was just from an experience, it's totally worth it. And since all of us are content creators at some point, if you can get out there with your camera and put some filters on it, hey, it's a kind of production value you're not going to get, because in this case, God and the universe are your special effects. So it's worth it to try and film some of that.
That's awesome. I'm so glad that you said that. And so this is a topic that me and Guns and Barbecue was having the other evening, talking about this. We were talking about if you're wanting to film it, you said put like filters on your camera. So you kind of like go over that with somebody that would want to film it?
Sure. The reason you want to do that is every camera, you just like your own eyes, you don't want to be looking straight at the sun. You could be burning out the sensor on your camera by setting it out for the half an hour or more that you're trying to film the whole eclipse cycle. So you're burning out your lenses, because don't forget, you got a lens up there. It's just like holding up a magnifying glass. Because that's what your lens does. Your big lens, and then you've got the little sensor on there. It's magnified. It's basically having a magnifier glass. And if you've ever put a magnifier glass in front of paper, you know what's going to happen. So if you can get welding glass, and I forget the exact number of the end number of the welding glass you need for full coverage. And what it'll do is, if you got the right glass, or if you're cheap like me, what you do is you take a Mylar blanket, the kind that they give you for emergency, where it's all silvered. And I found that if you layer it up about 6 times minimum, put 6 layers of that, either by folding it or cutting it and putting it in front of your camera lens, that's about equivalently dark enough that you're not burning out your sensor. What you'll see if you got it focused properly is you'll see the sun as a white disk, and as the eclipse happens, you'll start seeing the moon that's like this black disk start covering it up, and you should be able to see all of it. Now, once you're in full totality, you can take off the lens and then just run normally. But while any of the sun's coming through, you really should be protecting your camera.
Awesome. Travis T says shade 14 is recommended. So
thank you, Travis. And of course, if you're out there, I recommend getting those spending the extra couple of bucks and getting those eclipse glasses. It's much better. It's easier from a practical standpoint, because you can just wear them and you can use your hands. Whereas if you got a sheet and just holding it, trying to futz with your camera gear with one hand, it's kind of hard.
Oh, all righty. Well, thank you. So, Gary, we'll go ahead and jump on over to you, buddy.
So, what's the question? Do I have plans for the solar eclipse?
Yeah. Any plans or any concerns or?
Well, I heard on a radio program today that the New World Order is supposed to take over in the 3 minutes that the sun's covered up, and we're all pretty much toast after that. So I reckon everybody better get their affairs in order because this is going to be pretty much it. But no, in all seriousness, I survived Y2K. I survived the Mayan calendar. I survived
I forgot
all
about
the
that.
planets lining up. I mean, I've seen the end of the world so many times it ain't even funny. So, I don't know as far as shooting video of it. I thought about shooting out the window so I could catch a difference. Problem is, and I mentioned this on my program the other day, is that modern cameras are so well adjusted to low light situations that they're going to compensate as soon as it starts to darken out there, unless you can override that manually somehow. Yeah, as it becomes darker, what I mean is they're going to brighten up the image and you may not be able to really notice so much. So, and I'm talking about phones and stuff like that. So, as far as video, I don't know that I'll do much of anything. I'll probably look out the window and see if it gets dark and stuff like that. But that's about all the excitement's going to be around for me. Be my luck, I'll probably take a nap and miss it all. But
Nice.
it could happen.
Oh, I'm sure it could happen.
So since we're going in reverse order, we'll jump back over to you, Pat, and work our way across, buddy.
Well, I've been lucky enough to see it twice in my lifetime. Back when I was in elementary school, and we had those big helmets on. I got to grab one from my dad, take it to school, and it had number 16 in it. So it was really, really cool to watch. And it was like 2 hours of recess. So that was sweet. And then in 17 when we were totally over the top of it. I mean, we were right over dead center of it. And it was really cool to watch. Got the whole day off, and it was really weird because all the birds and stuff started to come in to roost and flock down and everything, and even heard some. And I totally forgot about this. I went back and watched my video from that,
Oh, you got
and
video.
yeah, and the coyotes started howling because
Oh,
the
yeah.
sun. They thought the sun was setting, and they started coming out and running around. And I was like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me! I'm up here, and I don't have my rifle up here, and I'm not calling in coyotes." So, but no, it was really cool. It was really cool to watch. Only it was only like in whole total totality, it was only about between like a couple of minutes, being total dark, and it just looked like it was dust. I mean, it would look like the sun was just about ready to completely disappear, and then it started getting lighter and got out. But no, it was fun. It was fun, and all my kids got to watch that. We pitched out a blanket, and we were up at our cousin's house, and it was fun. We made a total day out of it, and it was just something cool for the kids to enjoy because they were like, "What's going on?" So I'm trying to explain to a 2, a 4, and an 8-year-old at the same time is like what's going on and everything. And I think they've got it now, but it's hard to tell. Hopefully it'll come back around close enough to us where we can do it again when they're old enough and they can actually sit down, enjoy it, and have a good time. But yeah, no conspiracy theories on it except for uh, earthquakes and Taiwan and yeah, Russia and everything else we could have. But anyway, I'll just leave it right there. Anyway, have a good one.
You bet. Well, thanks. And then also, Mr. Bob also was talking out there, using just 2, paper plates. Basically that's a shadow box effect. You can use just a shoebox or something like that.
Amazon boxes. All of us are getting stuff.
Yeah,
from them.
the only thing we did when I was in grade school, we did it. We put white, like just white printer paper. We put some in the back side of it, so it'd show up better than like just a brown cardboard. Then you poke the hole in it, and then like I think Gary said, like they just looked in the top of it, but like we had the lid on for some reason. We cut a little square on one side to look into, and so we were facing away from the sun, and that was really cool. So I guess many Wayne's using X-ray vision glasses to watch it. I think Bubba's having some internet problems, I think he said. So hope we don't lose you, buddy. So DJ, we'll jump right on over to you, buddy.
Right on. It's kind of interesting. People having some of the conversations they are about end of days, and I loved how you ran through all the prior end of the world events that we've been through. That was kind of cool. Yeah, I guess it's a good thing for people to have those kind of conversations, because dealing with any sort of hypothetical, and Moondog touched on the prep aspect on our last topic. And if people are thinking about what it is that they would need to do in the event, for natural disaster preparation or anything else, at least it's a good mental exercise, if not something greater than that. I think I watched an eclipse in elementary school, but I'd have to get out my scout manual to see how to build one of those damn boxes again, kind of thing. I'm not sure I'll do it, but yeah, I'm not really concerned, but it's kind of interesting to hear some of the conversations.
Yeah. And also we see Chris out there. Buddy, you're on, I believe, Moondog's side. So I think Moondog might have a link over there. You can click on it if you're wanting to enter the contest. Otherwise, you can still you can watch over there just fine. But if you do want to enter the giveaway for tonight, you will have to come to the main chat, because the giveaway tool won't pick it up. So
yeah, I'll post up another link on my.
Okay.
Here we go.
So Mark Thomas, you guys got school that day? Are you guys planning to do something in school, or? I think Mark may have stepped out for a minute. So we'll move over to you, Garage Guy.
Well, the eclipse that had the most impact around my area here in the southwestern part of Virginia, I'd like to think it was maybe 1990, 91, something like that. It wasn't a total eclipse, but it got dark enough to where the street lights in town came on automatically. And it stayed that way for, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, but wasn't anything major. Yeah, you get a lot of people out here saying, oh, here comes the end of the world, or this is going to happen, that's going to happen. An eclipse is a natural phenomenon. I hope I pronounced that right. That's about like me trying to say cinnamon. I can't do it.
I can't say that dog blasted word either, buddy.
Yeah. But anyway, it's a natural thing, and it doesn't happen often. And, it's just one of the wonders of the universe, always enjoy these things when they happen. I don't listen to the hype or anything. It's going to happen, and there's nothing you or me or anybody can do about it, Now, the projected path I saw is supposed to go pretty much, Mexico, Texas, and on up towards Ohio. And Scotsman and Hot Pot, they're going to be right in the middle of the path. Here in my part of Virginia, the southwestern part, we're supposed to get about 85% of it. And the sky will get a little dim, but I don't think it'll have any major impact. But something like this is, it's always fun to be a part of, to be able to get out there and say, yeah, I saw that eclipse. It was all right. It is what it is.
Yeah, I thought I had a picture of it to share the path, but I guess I don't know. I can't find it. But yeah, it showed they had a deal that showed the path it's going over, and then the times and stuff, and the percentages. So you can pretty much find it out there.
It's supposed to hit here. The height of the most impact here in my part of Virginia is supposed to hit at 3:11 p.m. Monday.
I'm not sure though if there's an attack on the grid. I'm not sure how effective that would be, considering it's gonna affect different areas of the country at different times. It's not like the entire country is gonna be dark all at once. So I'm not real sure how you time that.
Yeah.
Well, that's how they had it timed here for where I'm at. 3:11, but that's just the news.
Yeah, I think what Gary is saying is like if there's going to be an attack on the grid, well, as it's going across the United States, at what time would that be? Because
it's going to take it several hours to get from one end to the other.
Yeah.
Okay, so like out in northern, western United States, it's probably. I mean, it's not even going to get dark at all there. So, so.
I think.
All right. All right, Walter. You're out there in California, also.
Yeah, we won't see much
of it, will you?
No, I've never been in a total eclipse. We've had, I don't know, 3 or 4 annulars that I've been in. We had a pretty decent one here just last October. Was an annular eclipse. I think that might have been one, Moondog, you went out to Nevada for.
Yep.
And it was a decent one just right here where I am. And but yeah, as far as one coming up Monday, it'll just be like, yeah, man, I got to go get my cataracts checked again or something. it may dim a little bit, but probably not so as we notice it. I'm going to be at the range anyway. I'll probably just think it's gun smoke drifting over from the guy next to me. So, yeah, and I'm not going to travel for it. I got a couple friends from here that are traveling for it, and yeah, it's an eclipse. So I'm kind of like garage guy. I've been in the dark before. In some ways, I'm still in the dark.
Agreed, Walter. Agreed. I'm in the dark on most things.
Yeah, and like my daughter, where she lives right now, my oldest daughter in northeastern Arkansas, down there just right off the Boot Hill, Missouri. They're like right in the path, and she's telling me there's some towns that just, maybe a population of 20,000 people. They got like 200,000 or 300,000 people coming, for that day or 2 days. And I told her, well, just come home, and she's like, well, we'd like to, but we're just gonna stay here and watch it. I was like, make sure you get enough food and water if you're in a little town like they're in. I was like, at least for a few days, because some of the grocery stores and stuff might be bought up from people traveling there. So
yeah, that's good.
I would think that would be kind of a little bit more of a main concern. If you was kind of in that area and you had a bunch of people coming to your town, so why not go buy an extra case of water or, bag of chips or whatever you think you might need. So, but, anyway, Jamie, how about you, buddy? What do you think?
I'm kind of going to do what Michael Dunn says. If it gets too dark, I'll just go to bed. Now we lived through one about 7 years ago, and it was a fairly big deal around here because we were right under it. I think for a little bit, but 10 minutes and it was over with, and we all got the glasses and looked at them and all that crap. My boss at the time was passing around the glasses. He got us all glasses, and they were giving them away. You know, the cardboard things with the. My puppy dog's not mad, not happy about something.
Yeah, not happy.
Yeah, but they make mountains out of molehills on the news.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Oh man. Well, we lost Bubba, and I think he's going to talk a little bit about the total eclipse of the heart. No, he's not here.
That's been popping through my head almost every time from the first time actually somebody said total eclipse, it went of the heart, and I'm just like, oh God, who was that woman?
Well,
Bonnie Tyler.
Bonnie Tyler.
Bonnie Tyler.
Yeah.
Just turn around, bright eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. Turn around.
Yeah.
Okay, it's time for me to go to bed anyway. So
we're fixing to do the giveaway. You want to stick for the giveaway? You need to go ahead and get out of here. I know Moondog's gonna get out here early too, but we're ready to do the giveaway. It's totally up to you guys.
I want to see somebody win something that'll make my week better.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah.
We do. So we have 27 people entered, and I know we've had way more than that on here tonight. So make sure you get your hashtag in. This will be the last drawing for the Skinny Black Knife on Guns, Beer, and Therapy. So give everybody just a few more seconds here to get it in case we had somebody jump in late. Boomstick said Bubba was going to talk about the Mitsubishi eclipse.
Strange enough, I could see him talking about that.
There's probably an animal out there somewhere called an eclipse. That's probably what he's going to talk about.
So,
Yeah.
Walter, do you have a skinny black knife?
Yes, sir. I certainly do.
Well, I didn't see you flashing yours like everybody else was.
I flashed it last week.
And I would flash mine, but
Does
my
everybody on
wife
the
stole mine.
panel does everybody on the panel have a skinny black knife?
I do not.
Yeah, boy. Right here.
I do.
Moondog is the lone wolf here on the panel. Wow.
That's
Well,
all right. He's got 2 entries in the drawing, I see.
Yeah. Is that the case? When I posted, because it posted on both of my channels. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you can type it in as many times as you want, but the giveaway tool will only pick it up once. So
No, it's on 2 different accounts. Moondog Go and Moondog Industries. He's smart like that.
Well, if I do get picked, I'll hand it off to somebody because I don't want to be claimed as somebody who's trying to cheat the system.
No, Moondog, we want you to have
everybody
a
does that.
skinny black knife, man. We want you to have one.
Everybody does it. Facebook side, YouTube side, different channels. It doesn't matter. Everybody does it.
yeah. Well, and also if you did them on his link, it won't pick them up either. So I don't know why the giveaway tool won't work across the links. They'll work for like Facebook and YouTube and some stuff, but they won't work for shared links. I don't know why, but anyway, let's go ahead and get this thing a spin. So Jamie can go to bed. This thing's wound up tighter than an 8-day clock.
All right. Well, spin that wheel.
Ozzy,
Ozzy.
Rigged.
Congratulations, Ozzy. Are you out there, buddy? You do have to be present to win. He probably put snakeskin on it.
Yeah, there's some rigged going on out there. Oh,
Come
that's
on,
funny.
Ozzy, make a comment. Come on, make a comment.
Go
We know
on,
you're
Ozzy.
out there.
He's already got one. Give it to Moondog. He's the only one. He's the only one on the panel that doesn't have one.
So, did Ozzy say anything yet? I haven't
Not
seen
yet.
it.
Not yet.
Well, we'll give him just a few more seconds here, and if he don't say something, we'll spin again.
Time's up. You said 2 seconds. Sorry.
All righty.
Pernicious.
Come
Well,
on,
I think
Ozzy.
that's been fair enough amount of time. So, let's share the window again, and we'll spin again.
That's right, Boomstick. Give it to Moondog.
Yep.
Let's get this baby a spin here.
Spin that wheel.
Bamadad.
Bamadad.
All right.
Dad, congratulations, buddy.
Congrats, man.
I'll take care of Moondog. I'll send him one.
I saw
So,
Bamadad.
Dad, he was out there
saw-
a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
There he
There
is.
he is.
Hey.
Yep, there he is.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, Dad, email me at AmericanHillbillyUp@gmail.com, and I'll give me a name and an address, and I'll get that sent out to you, buddy. And also include your name, Dad. Yeah, sometimes people send it in and be like, yeah, this is Joe. I won. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know who Joe is.
Who is this Joe you speak of?
So,
Okay,
anyway, awesome. So, I know, Jamie, you and Moondog both need to get out of here. So, Jamie, we'll just start with you. If you want to plug what you got coming up and anything else you want to say, and then we'll jump on down to Moondog.
Well, I just want to say thanks for having me and putting up with me. And you guys are a lot of fun to hang out with. And I hope to get a video out. I got an unboxing video, and I'm hoping to get that done tomorrow or Monday. And good night, Michael Dunn. I hope y'all have a good rest of the weekend, and I hope y'all go to church somewhere tomorrow. That's it. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, Michael Dunn, I might try to sign it, but I don't think Black Sharpie will show up on it, buddy. I guess I can try to get me another Sharpie. But,
night, Jamie.
Jamie, good night, buddy. Thank you so much for being
Have a good
on
one,
here.
brother.
Night, buddy.
Make sure you guys go over and check out JH586 and the Georgia Shooting Connection. Subscribe if you're not. And Georgia Shooting Connection, you said, is 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 Eastern on Friday nights.
Yep.
So thanks a lot,
Yes,
buddy.
sir.
We sure appreciate you.
See y'all.
See you, buddy.
All right.
Go easy.
See ya.
Nice.
So Moondog, I know you said you gotta get off here too. You
Yeah,
got
just
early morning.
yeah, just like Jamie, got church tomorrow, and I just got a call from Sister Mary Frances today, so I might actually have to set up the coffee urn at the church for hospitality after mass. So so I have double duty along with the choir tomorrow.
Wow.
So yeah, so I want to thank everybody for the hospitality and for the camaraderie tonight. And I want to ask everybody who's on the chats on the side to definitely check out. I've got three channels. I've got Moondog Industries, which is my primary guns and ammo channel, and I've got Moondog Reviews, where I review gadgets and non pew pew optics. And I also have Moondog Go, which is my travel channel. And actually, I'll be reposting up my video from the annular eclipse last year. I realized that the original video that I posted up in a hurry on my way back from Nevada was not in 4K. So I've rendered that video in 4K.
Nice.
Yeah. So Jeff, I'm going to post up right now Moondog Go. And I'll also put up Moondog Industries, so you guys can check that out. At Moondog Industries, I'll be posting up a booth video over at Aero Precision. They're coming out with a 22 suppressor that is a really super light, and I got a chance to shoot it over at the range over in Nevada over a SHOT Show, and it sounded like I was shooting a hand stapler that was that quiet. So it was great. Yeah. So, and I'll be posting. I'm working on some reviews of some an Athlon scope, as well as I'll be testing. I'm testing out one of the Loophole's new BX4 binoculars. So you'll see that on Moondog Reviews. All right, everybody. Thank you again for such a great night. It's good to see everybody.
Good night, Moondog.
Good night, Moondog.
Good to see you, buddy.
good
Guys, make sure you go
Have
over
a
and
good one.
subscribe to Moondog. Great channel.
Yep.
You won't be
Thank you.
disappointed.
Yep. Awesome. Have a good one, brother.
So does anybody else need to jump off here?
Yeah,
For
I'll
Mark?
check out. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and actually, I think you stepped away for a minute a while ago. We were talking about the eclipse. Do you guys have something at school planned or anything?
No, actually, they've got a half day set up. The kids are going to get out way early, and they're going to be able to be home. So no problem with viewing the eclipse. No liability.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Both my school and my son's school.
Wow. All right. So school's out.
Yep.
Cool. Well,
Yep.
that's
All
a
right.
good deal. Well, Mark, you got anything to plug before you jump off here, buddy?
No, I might try to make a range day video with that new 45 Colt Blackhawk I got. That's otherwise, that's it. So, good night, all. Thanks.
Good night, buddy.
Mark.
Good to see ya.
Hi, Mark.
Night, Mark. Have a good one.
So go and check out Mark Thomas, guys. Great channel. Does not only range stuff, gun stuff, but also does awesome leather work. He's quite the craftsman. I mean, really good stuff there. So anyway. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's neat to, I guess, it would be kind of cool to get out of school for that. Let's see. Oh, also one other thing I want to remind everybody, we got Thunder on the Prairie coming up June 1st and 2nd. And if you want to go to that, make sure you get a hold of Travis P11 or Defense Dad. Actually, you can go to their channels. There's information on there. about how to sign up and all that. There's several people that go, content creators and everything, and so I know there's 3 right now on this panel that's going, and I'm planning on going. Hopefully, I can make it. So yeah, and so yeah, it's a great way to get out there and have some fun, and it is not expensive. I mean, by any means. I mean,
No.
it's definitely spend more money on your travel than you will on that event, and there's always a bunch of goodies to give away there. So
Yep.
anyway, let's see. So I have a few more topics, but anyway, DJ, um, you've been kind of hit and miss lately on the panel and stuff, and so we always appreciate you being on here. And would you like to come up with a music or song or something topic for us? You always come up with some great ones, so don't want to put you on the spot there. Sorry, buddy.
Just a
Yes,
just a wee bit.
garage
Well,
guy. That guy up above me right there.
Yeah. So,
I guess how about like favorite decade? Because we've kind of gone kind of narrow band several different times. So this would be a little bit, maybe a little bit easier to identify. So like favorite decade of popular music, and then maybe artist or song that goes right along with it. And Hillbilly, since you put me on the spot, you're on the hot seat. Go.
well, really quick, Michael Dunn has a public announcement out there. Remember, do not stop in the highway to view the eclipse. So that's a very good deal. It should be on every radio nationwide that day. Oh man!
Don't stop dead in your tracks and just watch it. No, pull off somewhere safe, people. Please have a little more sense. There was enough wrecks in Nebraska the last go around.
So, favorite decade? Oh man, my love for music springs, for many years. Oh man. I want there's a decade that I really appreciate the music for, definitely, and I like the music, but I don't know if it would necessarily my all-time favorite. Man, probably.
Just pick your favorite decade.
Yeah, I know it is so tough.
It is.
I would have to say if like I had to pick a decade that that's the music that I was going to listen to on and on and on. I would probably have to go with the 80s. I mean, not that it's my absolutely favorite, but it's right there. On different reasons, I could state a different decade, but yeah, if I was going to listen to it over and over again, probably the 80s.
Right on. Want to slide over to Walter? What do you got, man?
Too easy. The 50s and doo-wop music.
I love that.
I listen to that stuff still all the time, from like the Del Vikings and Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers and the Drifters and the Platters and the Shirelles, and back when musical groups had cool names. I love that stuff, just and not that I don't love other music, but I was a teenager in the late 50s, and so it kind of stuck with me, I guess. That's the stuff we listened to when I was a kid, and I think that when you're a teenager, that no matter what decade you were hit your teens, whatever the music was of the time, music is a big deal for for teenagers. Well, and it is for everybody, but I think that's when you kind of get your first dose of, hey, this is something, this music thing. We all started playing instruments and stuff at at that time, picked up, 2 or 3 different instruments. And so that's easy for me. Here I am more than 50 years later, and I'm still digging the 50s music scene.
Right on. There's
Oh
plenty
yeah.
there to dig, and like the bands the groups that you were naming, like vocal harmonies, just instantly into the head of most of the ones that you named. So definitely, it's going far past the '50s. It's like a transcendent genre for sure, and its influence, I think, people might underestimate. So, text chat, check in on that tip. Let's see, Garage, what you got, man?
Well, Walter mentioned doo-wop music. Now, I live less than 1 hour from Princeton, West Virginia, and a well-known actor named Bob Denver, who played Gilligan. We all know who he is.
Yeah.
When he left Hollywood, he come back to Princeton and had I guess it was a low wattage doo-wop channel on the radio. And he spent pretty much the rest of his life there. He just passed away, I guess, about 15 years ago. And when he did, the news coming out of Bluefield and Princeton and all that, he loved doo-wop. I like a lot of the 50s music too, but growing up here, I got to say 70s, and it was a midnight special. And a lot of those bands would just plug in the wires to the amps, to the guitars, and they would just jam out the same as if they did that up here in my garage. And one of the things that got me back in, was Ted Nugent, Double Live Gonzo. AC/DC, If You Want Blood, You Got It, and the first and second Kiss live albums. You just plugged in your instruments and you jammed out on stage. And it was live, it was real, it was raw. Now, some of them albums, they might have took the recordings back into the studios and kind of polished them up, but still yet. Gary Wright, Love Is Alive, on the Midnight Special, a lot of these other bands, 70s. The 80s, to me, was too full of keyboards, synthesizers, and other button instruments. I did not get into that. Van Halen, when they did Jump, I'm like, what the heck?
Made
It was
you
a good
jump, didn't
song. Yeah, but bing,
Uh-huh.
bing, 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 bing. Yeah, no, hell no. Give me an Ace Frehley solo anytime. That solo at the end of She on the first live album, yeah, that's where I was at.
Right on. I could hear that solo in my head, and like I've had
Yep.
Kids Alive too before I had the first Alive, and so it was a treat to be able to go back. And I was like, 11, 12 years old. So
Yeah.
it's a good memories and some good heavy hitters that you pulled out there. Some great names from the '70s as well.
Yeah, that
Right on.
Ace Frehley solo. Da, na, 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 na. A simple riff, and it just kept getting faster and faster. That's all it was. Nothing hard about it.
Agree.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Slide down to Pat. What do you got, man?
Okay, well, anything that killed the '80s, I'm for. Just like Garage said. Anything that takes a great big sword and stabs the hair metal straight in the back and twists it straight sideways, I'm fine with. Except for you still had the heavy hitters out there. Like you still had some Kiss, you still had some AC/DC out there, but most of it was. But yeah, exactly. Thank you. But I'm more of a Bon Scott guy, and that's what I used to
Yeah.
sing when I was uh, in the front of a vocal group. And then when you got after the 80s, about 88, when you had like Black Flag and you had Toad Stomp and you had those guys come in, you had those punk rockers come in there and start smashing the shit out of hair bands. And I was like, yes. And anything after that, especially, you got uh, Stone Temple Pilots, you've got Alice in Chains, you've got Pearl Jam, you've got pick your poison on that through the 90s. I love that stuff, but that's the stuff that I grew up with. But if I had to go back to another group, back down, Led Zeppelin, uh, pick your poison on that one through those years. Led Zeppelin is my all time favorite. You can't get any heavier or nastier than uh, Janis Joplin or those. That was when music was music. Through the 80s, it was too keyboardy, too plasticky. And I'm not hitting. I'm not trying to hit on anybody, but it's just like 80s. It just turned too plasticky. So I love that 60s, 70s on up to the 90s where you had all that stuff in between. I just didn't care for much of it, even when I was a kid growing up. So even the country stuff, it was too twangy, too pokey, it was too poppy, and it's just like no, it just I just didn't care for it. So, but yeah, in between those two, yeah, and then yeah, I could go on, but I'm just gonna stop.
Yeah.
Right, like, you're just jumping straight over the 80s, kind of thing, just like squashing it down and wishing one of my favorite decades to just go away. So, Gary, I don't know if you're going to pick the 80s, the 70s. I don't know where you're going to go, man. Where are you going to go? What do you got?
Well, I'm a little bit older than you, DJ. So I graduated high school in 1978. When I drive in my vehicle, 9 times out of 10, my Apple Music station is set to 70s hits. There's reason for that. I mean, there was a little bit of everything. Music changed in the 70s. We had the Black Sabbath and stuff like that. We had AC/DC, and then we had disco came and went. You had Motown, and everybody was listening to Motown too. It's like there was so much to choose from out there, and it was all good. I mean, it was all good. So yeah, anything from very hard rock to the soft rock and stuff like that. Gosh, there's just about everything in that decade, and that's what I grew up with. That's what I listened to. Now, there's good stuff in the 80s, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit and trash the 80s. I lived through it too. I had MTV and all that cool stuff, and I saw that there's cool stuff come out in the 80s too. But if I had to pick, it'd be the 70s.
Right on. And again, you're making such good points for landing in the 70s. And when I first started Walter was talking about when we're hitting upon our taste and our style kind of thing. Walter's talking about that's what I grew up with. And he, talked about how we kind of gravitate towards that sometimes. And Gary's echoing that. Pat's skipping over the 80s. You were alive for the 80s, man. And it's like I got completely understand and relate to that. And I'm kind of glad that I'm going to stump for the 80s now. And I'm going to start it off with a couple of different reasons. But Pat, I want to touch on, you mentioned Black Flag. You mentioned how people were just stomping a mud hole into a lot of different things. You're absolutely right. And one of my favorite shows early on was Black Flag in '85. And I contrast that with having seen Ozzy and Motley Crue the year before. So you got SoCal punk rock, and you got an English, former. We had talked about Sabbath coming in earlier as well. Yeah, so I really enjoyed that decade. It was also the decade where I got to create some of that autonomy. I appreciated my parents, both musicians, for providing me with their own record collections and influences and selecting live music for me to attend. But it was time for me to do more than just pick out something because, once every couple of months I might get a 7-inch single if I was good. And I think we'll all remember our first, half a dozen LPs or cassettes or CDs, whatever it is, sort of thing, or at least the favorite bands that we had where they could just play nonstop and it would be just fine with us. And so,
sorry.
See you later, man. So, no, not at all. So, the 80s for me, getting out of the beginning of those, coming through, having absorbed a lot of new wave and other stuff, I was ready for the second British electronic invasion. And bands like Depeche Mode really made that decade snap to attention for me. Electronic music began then. Within a couple of years, I was working in radio and able to program in some specialty shows, stuff that was even more fringe at the time, like when industrial was coming, the precursors to some of those bands that you were talking about, Pat, in the 90s. So it was really,
I'm not saying all those bands were trash back in the 80s. It was just it was the hair band stuff. It really got me in a twist. And that's all I'll say about the hair band stuff.
Well, I got you, man.
I can blank that out.
See, I love the hair bands.
Well, and for a guy who said, Pat, you said, this is 70s, you're a Bon Scott guy. I'm a Bon Scott guy too.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's hard to not like acknowledge, at least though, with that band in particular, how the 80s was a turn. And when you had Brian join the band and they came back out and you have that just boom, starts out with the bell sort of thing. That was a great divider of the decades kind of thing.
It was. It was. Sorry. Keep going.
You're good. No, I
have nothing against Brian Johnson because he was a power vocal for sure in the 80s and in the 90s and on. I'm just saying, it's just I just didn't like the hairband stuff, and that's just my personal preference. That's
right on.
just my personal preference.
Well, Gary touched on the fact that disco existed, and disco is the precursor to the electronic music that we saw in the 70s that grew into my 80s bands kind of thing. And Hillbilly, you were standing tall for the 80s at the beginning, and I wrapped it up with the same, man. So we're coming back up to you for a new topic or where we need to go with the 2-hour mark. This is a good one. Took me a second.
I just wondered. Great topic, and I wasn't thinking like. Tommy Boy's out there. He picked from 75 to 85. I didn't think about splitting the generations.
That's a good one. I'm sorry. Did he say anything about why he picked that cut? Because I'm curious to find out.
I don't know, Tommy Boy. You still out there, buddy? I seen you put up 75 to 85. I'm like, dang, that's a cool deal.
I like that.
I think Garage Guy's got a little something to say on this.
Yeah, there is one song from the 70s in the album I forgot to mention. I apologize for interrupting.
Sure Pat didn't mention it?
Hotel California.
Yeah.
In my opinion, one of the top 3 songs ever come out in the 70s.
Yeah.
I will agree with that. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yeah, definitely. But I want to say, Garage Guy, you said 70s. I'm like, so when you say 70s, you also have to include disco. So, did you have the platform shoes?
Well, let me tell you this. I talked about Kiss. They had platform shoes long before disco.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, they did.
I'm good to go on that.
So
but there is some. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, guys.
I was going to say, since we've been like he's talking about Stairway, being in like kind of the top 3. We'll touch on that in just a second. I hope people's not getting too tired or bored here. But one of the reasons is a really tough deal for me because I grew up listening to 50s, 60s. I love all that. And, it's such like Walter was saying, it's such a happy generation of music. I
Yeah.
mean, you can't, you can't frown while listening to that stuff. It just makes you happy. It's such good music and the talent of the voices, so much stuff that is almost a cappella or whatever, and, and it went on into somebody put out there Seven Bridges Roll, I mean, songs like that, just the voices, are, just really, really make the songs. One of the reasons I did pick the 80s because, I was born in 69. Our first like satellite was half the size of this house, and we could get MTV, so that's such a big deal in my generation.
Yep.
It just really was. And, like Pat, he was talking about, he didn't care for the synthesizers and stuff like that. That was something that, like, never heard of. Like, it just, and like Jump, also, it was like that was something brand new that my parents didn't listen to or nothing. So it was like a new feed for us youngsters, something to kind of grab onto that was our generation, And so that's the reason I think I said that, even though I love so much music, country and rock, but I had to think, that's what I had to think about it for a little bit. I'm like, it would have to be the 80s for me, but I mean, every one of them picked a great, deal of music. But now, since that was brought up, like, what's the top 3 songs from your lifetime that you experienced that, like, you'd be like, okay, these are 3 songs that are just my best 3. What do you think about that, DJ?
I think, good sir, perhaps we should take that on as homework because as much difficulty as we have to even picking a decade and a couple of representative examples, top 3 discussions, bro, we could have individual brackets in our heads popping off, starting with the top 100 and trying to narrow those down. I couldn't give a responsible answer tonight, but I will give it a whirl. If the other cats are down, I'm down to play that too. So what say you all?
Yeah.
Forget about it. That's a whole night's topic right there.
Okay, 2 to 1.
Live too long. Narrow it down to 3. There's 3 million.
Yeah,
exactly. Thank you, Walter. Thank you.
Okay, 3 to 1.
Because there's, I could do my homework on it, but guess what? It's you might have to give me 6 months to narrow it down to 3 songs, at least 6 months, at least. It might have to be a year because wow, there's been a lot of good music that's come out from when it started because you can go from bluegrass all the way up to R&B to Motown. Man, I've got too many walking through my mind right now that it's just like, wow, no, can't do it.
You'd have to pick.
Nope.
You have to pick 3 from each genre almost.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
tell you what,
exactly.
I will add that to next week, and we'll do like maybe
Hillbilly,
go.
you're gonna have to schedule that at least 6 to 9 months out.
That's all, like after Thunder on the Prairie at a minimum.
Yeah, after Thunder on the Prairie. Thank you, because we can custom discuss about that for at least 6 hours.
Well, we might just start like a little series, and we might just go decade to decade. So
Yeah,
hey, I like
that. Would probably be easier. That would probably be easier.
So
one more. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Garage Guy.
Oh, okay. DJ, one more band from the 70s I have to mention, Atlanta Rhythm Section.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. Good.
I have a little story to tell.
They were
Yeah.
before I pass to you real quick, I just want to say heavy hitters. Atlanta was underrated at the time. That was a group of heavy hitters that came in. Yeah, absolutely, man. We'll
Yep.
talk about them sometime.
Agreed.
Gary, what you got?
Well, today my daughter was trying to shock me with some of the music she could play on my radio. So she was calling out this song and that song, and I'm shaking my head. And finally, I called up on my Apple Music. I called up a particular. I'm not going to name it because I'd probably get in trouble for saying the name of the song, but an old Frank Zappa tune. And because I remember that band, if you wanted to really party and have a good time, you put on Frank Zappa when I was in high school. Because that was stuff that didn't make it on radio all the time. It was kind of your fringe music. You know, you had to be a really dedicated person to be into Zappa. And so us people that were into Zappa, we kind of took pride in that. So that's the kind of stuff you could do in the 70s. You know, you could bridge out and go wherever you wanted to go with your musical taste, man.
Absolutely. I will always argue that Zappa is one of the greatest American composers. Period.
Oh yeah,
His output and his talent, incredible. One of his understudy, the guy who first started to do his charting for him is Steve Vai. Guitar fans will know him. He's currently out on the road with Joe Satriani. So you get a chance to see two, modern legends kind of thing in a show like that. There's lots of great stuff that's going to happen with all these discussions. And Gary, thanks for adding that in, man. I dig that.
Yeah. Awesome. So we will go ahead and call it a night here. This has been fun. I really enjoyed it. I hope everybody else has too. So as we go through the panel and everybody does their plugs or whatever they'd like to say, go ahead and add in one band that had just a great rhythm. Might not be your favorite, but just that band just always had a good rhythm. So we'll go ahead and start down to you, Pat. You go ahead and plug your channel too and everything, and anything else you'd like to do. But
I just had to cycle it through my head, and the first one that always comes off the top of my head, just from when I was a kid, is Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash was a excellent storyteller. He could tell a story, and that was half of it, hands down. If you didn't have a good story to tell through your song, forget about it. You might as well just chuck it out the window and just go on to the next one. But anyway, thanks for having me on the panel tonight. This was a really good topic to end it out. And DJ, I hate you because really 3, only 3. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I can do that. I honestly don't know if I can do that. But Gizzard, Viejo, Garage Guy, DJ, everybody, thanks for having me on the panel tonight. Man, it's been a awesome conversation tonight, man. It's especially the tail end. The pistol with between the guns and the music. Literally two of my favorite topics. So I'm happier than a pig in slop right now. So
all right.
Thanks for having me on, buddy. Appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks a lot, buddy, for being here. And guys, go over and check out Pat in the Bunker. Go over and subscribe if you're not already. A lot of good stuff. You never know. You might see Pat on a tractor, Pat in a tree, Pat on a four-wheeler. You just never know. So it's always great to go over there and check it out. Appreciate you being here, buddy. So, Gary, let's go ahead and jump on to you. Plug your channel and name a band that just had good rhythm, something that pops in your head.
good rhythm like you could dance to or something like that? Or what?
Yeah. That's what I call rhythm. I assume. Like,
Well, heck, since I brought up disco and I lived through disco, and I like to sit here and say I hated disco, but that's probably a lie. I mean, we all kind of. I still listen to it every once in a while. I don't think you could talk about disco without talking about the Bee Gees. And
oh yeah.
but Bee Gees didn't start out being a disco band. They kind of pretty much got it going and everything, but you know they were there long before disco and long after, may I say. But it's kind of hard not to sing along to some of those songs. So why not? Let's go ahead and give disco another life here tonight. Anyway, as far as my channel goes, Foul Territory Friday nights at 9 p.m. We got we'll have a new knife review next week. Got some new Civivi knives that should be out Tuesday, so look for that. Also, knife shorts pretty much every day. And well, thank you for having me. As always, great show.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Gary. I sure appreciate it. Guys, go over there if you're not and subscribe to Gary's channel. And don't miss Foul Territory on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. And always a fun time. Thank you very much for being here, Gary. Appreciate you. So,
Thank you.
DJ, let's jump right on over to you, buddy.
Bass players, two of them pop out in my head immediately when it comes to this question: Bootsy Collins and Larry Graham. So Parliament, well, James Brown, and then Parliament for Bootsy. And Larry Graham is Sly and the Family Stone and Graham Central Station. And those two guys are it for the origins of funk bass playing. And my ears want to hear them more and more. I've been able to see both of them perform. And what gifts given to my ears on both of those evenings for sure. So that's my slide towards the rhythm section. On Saturday evenings before Hillbilly Show on the A Great Start Shooting School channel, there's a program about violence prevention, and I'd like y'all to swing by. There are other great messages that are received and offered, and tonight was a really good one. Double back on that if you would, and pass the word. She does good stuff, both about suicide and violence prevention and firearms training and other things. She's also spends a lot of time in their state capital making sure that her fellow citizens are represented and that their voices are heard when they can't represent for themselves. I think that's pretty much what I got. So everybody be safe, have fun, carry your guns, and rock. I'm out.
Thanks for being there, DJ. Appreciate it, buddy. Guys, go over there and support DJ. Subscribe to his channel. He don't have much content on there, if any. But support him because he does so much for the 2A community and everybody, all these live streams and everything. So he's awesome. So thank you very much, DJ, for being on here. I appreciate you, buddy. So we'll jump on up to you, Garage Guy.
Well, Mike, I got to tell you that last topic was the responses were off the hook, and it is really difficult to narrow down the choices, and this is one of the reasons I really enjoy being a part of this podcast. It's awesome. Anyway, what I got coming up is a review and first shots video of my new Taurus 942 ultralight Chamberton 22 LR. I'm really looking forward to doing the first shot segment. I'm still working on that Ruger SR45 video if I get out here and the weather cooperates. It's like you did your video earlier, the wind blowing, the rain. Mother Nature just doesn't seem to like me for some reason. So, but yeah, it's good to be here with everybody. Talk about any given topic. It's always a lot of fun. The side chat, awesome as always. And hope to do it again soon.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here, Garage Guy. I appreciate you, buddy. And if you're not already subscribed to Garage Guy 879, make sure you go over there and subscribe. A lot of great stuff over there. I appreciate you being here. So, Walter, let's jump on over to you, buddy.
Well, if we start talking about the kind of bands and stuff with rhythm that would used to get me swinging and moving and gyrating around and stuff, it could be a little bit different flavor than what most of you. So I'm thinking about some groups like the Dave Brubeck Quartet. If you've never listened to a tune called Take Five, go listen to that and see if that don't make your feet start tapping. And we could go back even a little bit further and talk about the swing era. And talk about some songs like Benny Goodman used to play in his band and stuff. So anyway, there's this you guys are blowing the fog right out of my ears, making me think that far back.
It keeps you lively. It keeps you lively.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to go back and think about that stuff. But anyway, as far as what we got coming up over here at the Viejo Bench, we've got the next chapter in the 45 ACP shootout coming up on Monday, and that's where we're looking at, what do you do if you don't have really good load data readily available? And you go look at Lee's manual, and it's got a bunch of data in there, but you got no idea what bullets they are. And so I've got a whole bunch of cast bullets that nobody's got load data for. So what do you do? So that's what we're doing. I've got a dozen or so different bullets, and some of them there's data you can go find, some are not. So anyway, so that's what we're looking at. What happens if you pick a number out of a sea of loading data like the Lee manual has? What do you do what's going to happen? So that's what we're looking at there. So that's next edition of that's Monday. The Rumble only series called Free the Few that comes out on Friday only on my Rumble channel, and I'm just taking varieties of a few little bullets that I got left in little containers and getting them loaded up and shot up before I get too excited about shooting anything else. And we got a trigger pull Thursday coming up, which is going to make Mark Thomas mad, and I won't tell you why. And I have another new revolver coming up. We'll be doing a review on that one in the next 10 days or so. And we got that new Lee turret press that I started a series on. We're working with that with a couple other guys online too. So a lot going on over here. So
awesome.
I do want to say again, thanks. This has been a great night. Couple topics. You just don't know what's going to fly and what's not, and this one just took off, man. And I knew it was going to be good because we had a rocket launch right at just as the show was starting. My desk was shaking. I go, what in the world? We inherit that earthquake from New York? Oh no, the Space Force base over here had a rocket launch right at that time, and it's only like 15 air miles from me. So
wow,
when those things get going, the windows rattle and everything. So I knew it was going to be a good night, and it was. So thanks to everybody over in the side chat. Good to see all you guys and gals over there as always, and your comments just really float the boat over here. We'd be drowning in our own sorrows if it weren't for you guys.
Well, thank you so much, Walter, for being on here, guys. If you've not been to Walter's channel and subscribed, make sure you get over there and subscribe. Great stuff. And what you're doing over there, Walter, doing all this reload data and everything for, you're doing like a lot of good for other reloaders because, like you said, there's no manual on it. And not only do you reload it and test it on it, you go out and shoot it and stuff. And so it's really a great deal to see how it's doing, through the whole process. And so it's awesome. And I'm still going to be looking forward to maybe some chilled wine and a cheese on the reloading bench maybe one of these days. So
yeah, alcohol and gunpowder. What could go wrong, right?
Yeah. And I like that Cimarron that video you posted. I'm like really want to check into that.
We got another one.
Gun. Yeah. Oh man. So for me, one of the rhythm bands, that I was thinking of, I kind of had one, but then like something else popped in my head, and I'm gonna say the Allman Brothers.
Mhm.
Always good, upbeat, dancing music. I mean, a lot of good
Hard
stuff.
to argue with that.
Yeah.
Yep. That's really hard to argue with.
Yeah.
Rambling man. Yeah.
So much good stuff.
Yeah. But I thank you all so much, panel, everybody on the panel for being here. Side chat, thank you so much. You guys are just awesome. You make this show. You guys are so entertaining. Not only that, but really knowledgeable over there. You guys come up with some awesome stuff, and I just appreciate and love you, each and every one of you. I just can't say enough. And also, I want to thank all the channel members that's out there. Their monthly donation to their membership is what brings you guys these giveaways. And even though we're going to have to say goodbye to Skinny Black Knife, don't be too disappointed because we have something else coming. So, anyway, I want to thank you all. I appreciate you all so much. I love you. I just want to leave you all with this and remember God, family, and country, and make somebody's day better, will you? And if the good Lord's willing and the creeks don't rise, we'll be seeing you all again. We love you, Hillbilly Nation. Everybody say goodbye.